Hello, I'm Mr. Hargrave, and this is what you need to know about Ravager minions. The first thing you need to know is that hands down, the Ravager minions are the best minion team in the game. A lot of people right now are looking at building minions. There's a lot of videos out here about building minions, so I just want to make it clear. If you are inclined to build minions right now, Ravager minions are hands down the best. They are the most viable minion team in the end game because they had the most recent rework. It's really not anything more complicated than that. And just to be clear about that, that's right now. That's not tomorrow. It's not the next day. It's not next week. It's right now. Today, Ravager minions are the best, but all the other minions have potential. Tomorrow, they could be the best team. All they need is a rework or a new character added, and then all of a sudden, AIM minions are the best. So be cautious. And this is why everyone's talking about minions right now and trying to determine which minion team to build. And that's because minions are required for the upcoming Death Scourge. Might even be the next Scourge we see, might even be a couple weeks from now. Who really knows? There's actually been no official communication on that. We do not know when the Death Scourge is going to happen, or if the War Scourge is going to happen before or after, or what. But here's the thing. Whoever is building characters for the upcoming first run of the Death Scourge, you're not going to have a good time unless you're spending money or unless you have a huge roster. So my suggestion is wait until the second run. Right now, we know that for all difficulty levels, minions are required. Even if you're going to do difficulty 1 of the upcoming Death Scourge, you're going to need to have some kind of minion team. But we'll get more into why Ravagers are good and what you want to do about that. And yeah, the reason why you want to be cautious about this is because they're putting minions on the Death Scourge, and to an extent as well, non-legendary mutants. You can almost guarantee that we're going to get some rework of minions, either a full team or a new team. And the same thing for non-legendary mutants. We're probably going to get a non-legendary required mutant team. Like all of our mutant teamers right now that are good hinge on a legendary. Weapon X with Omega Red, Astonishing X-Men with Jubilee, Unlimited X-Men with Rogue, Death Seed with 2 legendaries on it. We're probably going to get some kind of non-minion or non-legendary mutant team, and we're probably going to see some kind of rework on it, on a team of minions. Maybe that hand rework. Who knows? It's all speculation right now. Something that is also kind of speculation, but a little more rooted in fact, was they did let us see the Scourges that are going to be put into the upcoming Death Scourge. And one of the Scourges in particular is going to affect minions. It's going to give them plus 30% focus, so you don't need to make them skirmisher. If we're going to talk about Isotope 8 classes here for a second, you don't need to make them skirmisher. They're going to have plus 30% focus. They're also getting plus 30% crit chance and crit damage, and that's why I say that Raider is going to be kind of OP for any minion team that you're going to build. Whatever you're going to do with minions, you might have to consider Raider on them just because they're going to have this base plus 30%, crit damage and crit chance. I know that actually makes the shield minions desirable. Not that they're any good. Their stats are still outdated and there's not going to be much you can do with them outside of the Scourge. So I'm not saying to build them. I'm not saying to build anything right now. I'm saying hoard your resources. Unless you're about ready to go into Dark Dimension 5. If you're really close to going into Dark Dimension 5, the Ravager minions could serve a purpose there because they're all cosmic. And so is T'Challa. And I know it sounds crazy, but people were doing it. People were doing this a long time ago. Months ago, people were taking the Ravagers into the cosmic section of Dark Dimension 5 because they're cheap. And mainly they were taking T'Challa and Ravager Stitcher. But because there's only one character right now that's cosmic, that's required for Apocalypse, which is Heartless Doctor Strange, then there could be a world where it makes sense where you take your Ravager minions to tier 16. And I'm going to come out with a video with more guided advice on what to do about Dark Dimension 4 and 5, especially now in the Age of Apocalypse. But Ravagers are valid for that. They're all cosmic. 2 of them are tech, Right now, we don't have any tech characters required. Now, I'm still going to say, with the caveat of, we don't know the other required characters for Apocalypse yet. They might be all cosmic. They might be all tech. Who knows? So I wouldn't do this unless you were like right there. If you were right there, it was the last thing you needed to do. You're waiting to go into the cosmic section. There's worse things you can do the Ravager minions. And no matter what happens, no matter what rework happens, Ravager minions are still decent. They still do some things. Where do they do things? Mostly in war. The Ravager minions are war focused, along with T'Challa and Yondu. And they're not going to really do much more than that. This does give them another avenue, though, being able to be used in Scourges. And T'Challa can also be used in Scourges. We know the Ravager minions are required for the Death Scourge. And so that gives them some added value, as well as being an outdated war team. Don't build the Ravager minions. And that's my final tip. Just don't build the Ravager minions. I don't know what I said on the title of this, whether I said to build them or not build them. I guess it was whatever I thought would work on YouTube today. But be ready. Hoard to win is what you're really going to want to do, is hoard your resources and try to win that way. I'm going to make a video tomorrow. There will be a video on the channel tomorrow, but it's not something I'm going to shoot live. I'm not doing Cosmic Crucible attacks today. And, you can figure out why. It's out there. I'm not talking about it anymore. You can trust me. I'm Mr. Heartgrave. And Grave Diggers, keep digging. Keep shit dead, you